what is going down? It is none other than MC Noble here, DJ Ash Noble, whatever you want to call me these days. Welcome back to another stream doing the DNA Hard Aftermath. So if you don't know what these Aftermath streams, stroke videos are by now, it's basically just me sort of doing a little bit of a talk and an update regarding a gig that I've just played at. So what I do is I normally make a stream or a video where I'm sort of like announcing this booking and I'm talking about where I'm going to be playing and sort of what I'm going to be doing at this booking, and then the booking will happen and I'll make this aftermath video where I'll just kind of like update you guys on how the booking went and stuff like that. And usually if I've got any like videos or footage that I can put up and show you, then I'll put them up, and you know, I usually like to do so. So basically I will be doing some videos. I will be putting some up of DNA Hard. But like I said, the aftermath is just sort of to talk about how the night went. But before we do just get on to how DNA Hard went, I just want to give a quick shout out to all of you fans out there now. The thing I love about this music thing is when you get love off of people. And basically, what happened the other day is I was on Instagram and I put a question on my Instagram story. It was just a simple question, and I just said, where would you like to see me gig this year? Because I want to push myself this year. I mean, last year was belting, banging, but I want to do so much more this year, and I want to push myself to have an even better year last year. So I wanted to start pushing myself out there a bit more, and I want to do even more gigs. So I wanted to get an idea of the sort of places where people would like to see me gig, and if so, and there's any events around that area, I can send them some demos and some mixes, and I can just say, look, this is what I do, blah blah blah. I'd be interested in to your town and playing for your event and stuff like that. So I just wanted to get a little bit of an idea where some of you people would want me to play. I had a few good little suggestions. There were some places where I definitely want to go, and there's some places where I'd not really thought about going or hadn't really planned to go, but the more I think about it, I'm like, yeah, I want to go there. I got asked if if I was going to come across to Ireland, and I'm like, I've had no plans to come across the water just yet. But now you say that, now I'm thinking back, I did just have a little bit of a conversation with a friend today about possibly something that might involve Ireland. So now you'll have to keep your eyes peeled. But anyway, I don't want to babble on too much with the story. So I put a couple of I got a couple of responses, and obviously I shared a response onto my story. Someone said, I'd love you to come to Sheffield. Now, this guy didn't know that in March, and you don't really know, but in March I'm actually coming to Sheffield. All I can say is keep your eyes peeled, but I'm coming to Sheffield in March. So obviously, without giving anything away, I just said, look, I'm coming up to Sheffield soon. Just keep your eyes peeled, and it just absolutely really made the guy's day. And he inboxed me like, you actually coming to Sheffield? Like, oh my god, bro, yes, I'll be coming to meet you. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, the love you get off people is just so fantastic. So I just wanted to include that there, the beginning of the stream, because I love getting the love off of people. And it was just such an amazing honour to see that people are so buzzed and people want to come and see you, when you come into their town, and they want you to come to their town. So it was absolutely wicked. So anyway, back on to DNA Hard. So DNA Hard took place yesterday in Leicester at the Boxed and Cube nightclub. And I'm getting familiar with that place now. I've gigged in there a good 3 or 4 times now, and I'm getting quite used to the area. I've even been down on times where I've not been gigging and supported some other nights there, and I've almost got like like friends and family down there now. So it was like coming back home really. I'm getting so familiar with a place. So DNA Hard was for Shameless's birthday. Shameless is one of the promoters of DNA, and he put this night on to celebrate his birthday hard with an amazing lineup. So there was 2 rooms. So downstairs in the box was all your hard, heavy, hard style, raw style. Your French core, just proper heavy in there, just proper booming and going off. And then upstairs was a UK hardcore room where they actually put a competition on, and the finalists just basically played in that room. And sort of like battled in the finals, if you like, of this competition. Sorry about that, just having a drink. So so that was sort of what was going down. I was hosting in the main room, and I was hosting in the second room, and I just want to say that the event was just absolutely fantastic. The vibe was just absolutely banging. The people that came to the event was absolutely loving it, and they all had a smile on their face, which was absolutely fantastic to see. That they're all just there enjoying the vibe, and it was such a pleasure to be a part of DNA. DNA is going to be turning 10 years old this year, and I just want to give a massive shout out there to Nick Smith, who has kindly gotten me involved quite a lot with DNA, and I've become almost like a regular there now as well. But it's really nice to see, and I really love going down and supporting their nights, and whether I'm emceeing them or whether I'm DJing, it's just an amazing buzz. It's an amazing vibe to see. And stuff like that. So, like I say, I was doing 2 sets downstairs and upstairs. So downstairs, to kick things off, we had myself with none other than DJ Scar. Now DJ Scar has smashed it for years. She's got her own label called Scar Digital, and she mixes hardcore. She does hardstyle. She does gabba, and she's just done so many amazing things. And it was nice to finally team up with Scar, do a little bit of mic hosting for her, and stuff like that. I've seen her play a few times, and she's absolutely smashed it. And all I'm gonna say is this Gabba set was just something else. She played a Gabba set. I've never really hosted a Gabba set before, but it just almost like it just reminded me. Even though I never went because I was too young to go, but when you listen back to like old tapes, like old rave tapes, and you've got like the old Outer Skelters from the old sort of like bouncy techno, the Gabba and the happy hardcore days, it actually really, really made me sound like that. One thing that it really reminded me of, and I haven't actually heard this in a while, but there's a mix on YouTube, and it's I think it's a Billy Daniel Bunter live at the Strings of Life, and it's got this like really almost a bit like a Liquid D&B tune at the beginning, but it's like a really old school, just a chilled out flavour, and then it comes into this like sort of like heavy old school hardcore and this sort of like gabbery bouncy techno, and it was just a banging set. And this sort of set that Scar played just reminded me of that when I used to listen to that mix, and just how sort of like really sort of like good the set was. She played an absolutely banging set. The drops were hard as fuck. The breakdowns just had some classic happy hardcore sing-alongs. Just loads of like My Little Fantasy, and just some absolutely amazing old school tunes. Paul Elstak, Love You More, was in there. We had Wonderful Days. It was just the tunes were belting, and it was actually a pleasure to host. I'd never hosted a Gabba set before, and like I say, it just absolutely went off. And because I was hosting and not sort of spitting and babbling all over the set, it just made the set so much better. But I already like knew and decided myself that I was going to take it easier, like downstairs. I was going to go mental and crazy, but you know, I was going to take it easy on the bars. So I was going to kind of more host it, but you know, almost just drop like a few little one-liners, like now and again. Just you know, just a few little one-liner rhymes, and then a bit of hosting and bigging up the DJ, and you know, just getting the crowd to put their hands up in the air and blow the whistles, and it was just amazing to see. And I was quite proud of myself because I remember when I first started, like going to gigs and MCing. Especially when Dave Fallows used to put me on the stompings, he used to let me have a little bit of a go on the mic and stuff. I was very sort of, you know, I'd get into my own zone and spit my own bars, but I wasn't really that good. I was quite nervous about interacting with the crowd and doing like the oggy oggies and, you know, telling them to put their hands up in the air and shit like that. I used to struggle with that, but I feel like I've definitely got a little bit more better at that, and I've been good at sort of like now announcing the DJs, and you know, you've been listening to the sounds of so and so. We're gonna play one more from the Scar, and you know, like it was just a buzz that you know I could tell that I've improved myself, but it was just a banging set. I really enjoyed my set on there. It was my favourite set of the night, and it was my favourite set. Well, I'll be honest, it's up there with one of the best. Well, it actually is the second best set that I have ever done in my whole entire MCing career. So I've actually got three. There's actually three. So the first one, I actually hosted and MC'd for Rachel Vega at the Harder Southwest Fest. She did a hardcore set, and the hardcore set was just absolutely belting. It was banging. Every tune was just a stomper. There was some like D&B breaks in there. It went a little bit sort of like dubsteppy. There was elements of different sounds in there. You know, there was, like I said, there was drum and bass. There was break beats. There was side trance, rolling basses. Really belting. So that was, for me, it was the best set that I've ever MC'd over. Just the music worked. I just worked. It was almost like I had MC'd for this DJ before, and I just got right into the zone. I felt her music. I felt a connection between me and sort of what she was playing, which was wicked. So the second favourite set that I've ever MC'd for was the Gabba set last night. It was absolutely fantastic. You know, I was on fire just with the hosting, and it was something different. And you know, it was something that I've now can tick the box and say, look, I've hosted a Gabba set. It was buzzing. And then the third one, I did a B2B stomping with Sniper. Now, I was booked for Stomping's first birthday back in 2020. And I was on the mic for Jester to start with, and he played a good set, but he played a style that I wasn't really sort of like feeling it for MCing wise. You know, it was a little bit slow. It was a bit more like hard housey, and it wasn't really what I was sort of like digging. So Sniper was on second, and I think it was for Franks, who was doing a power stomp set, and the power stomp was just booming. It was belting. I felt a little bit disappointed that my first set didn't go too well, so I just jumped on with Sniper, grabbed another mic, and the next thing you know, we're just flowing off this B2B, and it's just working. I'm working with him, he's working with me, we're both working with the music and the DJ who's supplying the beats, and the next thing you know, we're just absolutely nailing it, killing it. And then my friend Kenny was going back over the sets, and he even added me and Sniper into a group chat just to say, look, you know, I'm just listening back to your sets, and you know, you did a really good B2B. And that's, you know, it was a really good, you know, you flowed and stuff like that, and it buzzed me. So that made me feel even better about it, and it also made me feel like I just sort of like almost like came back even better from that sort of first set over the hard house tunes that just didn't go too well. But anyway, back to the DNA. That Gabba set is up there as one of my second favourite set that I've ever hosted for. It was just belting. It was just Because when I was going there, I thought home a hard night. It's gonna be a little bit, because I know like a lot of people at hard nights don't always really want an MC, and they don't really, they more just want the music, but they don't mind having a little host sometimes. But I was a little bit like, because I do normally just spit my bars, you see. I'm not this big hoster really, although I can do it. It's just I used to find it quite boring because I'm thinking, I want to be up there spitting my bars. I don't want to be just almost like going yes, going yes, yes, put your hands in the air. I want to go through all my rhymes. But now as I've kind of got a little bit more older and gotten into my music a bit more, and taking it more professionally and getting out of that habit of just babbling and spitting rhymes all the time, I have definitely gotten into my hosting a little bit more, and with me sort of getting into the DJing as well, and sort of not sort of coming out of the MCing as such, but taking a bit of a back seat from it. It's nice just to go and like sort of host something, where you can just sort of enjoy the night with the music. You're not just babbling with your bars all night. But I still got to do that upstairs. I enjoyed it. Second set was still good, which we'll get onto that. But all in all, it was just banging. So if Scar does happen to watch this, big ups to Scar, because it was a really good Gabba set. Every tune was just banging. There was like elements of like old school rave pianos and rave stabs in there, and it was just it was everything that I like in a set really. Pianos, rave stabs, vocals that you can sing along to, and then a nice heavy drop, which is that's me. I always like to find the heavier side of like a genre. So if it's like hardcore, I like the hardcore that goes into like some real mental, like sick, twisted, and hard, heavy drops. If it's like bounce, I like these real sort of like big sort of hard bounce drops, and just a real sick like mental drop. If it's like my hard house, I love my hard house and hard dance to go into like some real sick hard drops, and I always try to find that harder edge of whatever the music is, and whatever the genre is. If it's like D&B, I like a real big heavy jump up D&B, as opposed to like a liquid D&B. Although I don't mind liquid D&B, I always edge to that sort of more filthy, harder, heavy sort of side of my genres of music. So once I'd done that set, I then took on a bit later on in the night to go upstairs and host for Scott Cross, or Scotty C, who played an absolutely banging power stomp set. Actually, it was just fun. It was fun to do. It was good to sort of see and to listen to, and there's quite a few people upstairs singing along, enjoying the vibe, and it was just a really nice thing to see. It was just an absolutely belting night, full stop really. So I was up there. Some woman came along and sung some words to some of the songs, and sort of like cheered me on a little bit as well, and just sort of like like, yeah, come on, let's do this kind of thing. And just sort of like come up there and had a bit of fun with me in front of the DJs. Then my good friend Lee Tony come and spat a little bar, and it was just a really good and fun set to do. And then I did go back on the mic a couple of times upstairs as well, prior to the set as well, which was a good thing. But I've sort of gone off that sort of like going on the mic all night kind of thing. The way I see it now, you book for a set, you do your set, and you do what you do. And a lot of people like to just go on and grab mic. Now I know, like as an instance for last night, I know there was a couple of MCs that had sadly dropped out. So obviously another MC that was already on the lineup, could just go on again and fill that space. But I have gotten into my zone of doing what I do, for my set time. And then like, that's it. Like the way I see it, like if you're DJing, like you won't go back on like later on and spin a few more tunes. Do you know what I'm saying? So like I tend to try and not like do it like on the mic anymore. Um, but other than that, it was just a belting night. But one of the things loved about the night, one of the things I probably did love the most was just the love that we was getting off people. And I met some people that I've seen online, and I've kind of we've wanted to meet each other for a while. Um, and then I've sort of like had a laugh with some people I hadn't seen for a while, and it was just a full on, really good night. It was just it was enjoyable. It was just such an amazing thing to be a part of. So definitely for this event, it's up there for me with one of my favourite bookings. Obviously, I can't say it's my favourite. Well, I can say it's my favourite one of the year so far, but it's the only one I've done this year so far. But it's definitely up there because it just went well for me. It was just enjoyable. I know there was a few technical issues on some other people's sides, and I know there was some mic issues with some people and some deck issues and stuff like that. And not that I don't feel sorry for them people, but when I went on, things weren't too bad for me. When I MC downstairs, the mic was all crisp and fine, and Scar smashed the set. When I was upstairs, the mic seemed to work for me. I did struggle a little bit now and again just to hear the music and whether there was a vocal or not, and I didn't know some of the tracks, so I was a little bit weary. Scotty C did throw me off a little bit with some of the tunes. I thought they was going to drop when they didn't drop, and it wasn't sort of sure like if there was if the next track was going to go straight into the breakdown, or if there was going to be that sort of 16 bars with with the sort of like power stompy bass. So he played a banging set. And he did a good job because he actually did make the myself as the MC struggle just a little bit, but it was still a banging set. I still enjoyed it, but yeah, for me, things just went right. It was just enjoyable. It was a really great way to start off my music and my bookings and my gigs for 2022. And all I know is there is going to be some more stuff to come. So just keep your eyes peeled. I'm entering into a music competition for an event called Deviation. It's run by Sanctuary, Big Bounce Nights, and they put on Deviation. It's a chance like to give up and come as a chance to showcase, get on some beefy lineups and get a nice booking chance to play out. I've been getting into my bounce lately, so there's a lot of people entering, but it just makes sense that that I just go and have a go, have a little enter. You've got to speculate to accumulate. You don't know if you don't try. So I'm gonna put the mix out. It's quite a banging mix. I enjoyed it actually. There was a lot of good, well-known tunes in there and some good remixes, and I like the start of the mix especially. I'm not going to say too much about it, but there's a good like start to the mix, and there's just a little few things that hopefully might just make the mix stand out from like necessarily like other mixes, if you like, and hopefully we've got some stuff. Hopefully we've got some stuff that's going to happen. Some good things to come out of that mix. So I'll keep you updated if I win or if I get like into a final or whatever the situation may be. I know that, like I say, I know there's a lot of people entering. You've got till the 28th to enter, but I want to get mine in and make sure it gets listened to. And I just think I want to get on it. I don't want to miss it, kind of thing. Like I say, I'm all for pushing the music this year, and I've got a few things and a few places that I'd like to tackle. Some venues I would like to play. So I'm going to try and make them things happen. But yeah, so that was the DNA. That was DNA hard. There will be some more DNAs. Whether I'm a part of them or not, I will let you know if I am. So keep your eyes peeled. So let's do this. Let's do this thing. And let's smash it. Let's just absolutely cream crash it. Definitely, absolutely, 100%. Let's do it. That's all I'm saying. Let's do it. So Yeah, like, comment, share. Peace out.